Hello and welcome to the Society of Economic Geologists Earth Day Student Chapter Symposium. It's a privilege to be asked to give this opening address by the organisers of the National University of Ireland SEG Student Chapter. My name is Simon Jowitt and I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs within the Society of Economic Geologists. I've been asked before I get onto the kind of main focus of the introduction on Earth Day to say a few words about the Society. The SEG is an international scientific society that consists of members who are interested in economic geology, be they in industry, in academia or in government. And we have a large number of student members, including a total of 109 student chapters in 31 separate countries. And we support students in their research and other activities in various ways. The Society of Economic Geologists often gives more than $100,000 in individual research grants to students each year. We support students through fellowships during their graduate studies. We also support individual student chapters, groups of students based at different universities across the world to undertake activities like field trips, or at the moment we're running a vlogging competition to highlight interesting geology around the world that people can showcase to other students who might not have access to specific rocks or outcrops or geoscientific locations. Student membership within the Society is heavily subsidised. We offer discounts on conferences, meetings and other events, and it's well worth joining the Society if you've not done so already. Equally importantly, the students are the future of both our science and our society, the Society of Economic Geologists. So being a member gives you a say going forward in how you see the Society of Economic Geologists evolving and developing. We already have give younger members a say by having, for example, early career professionals and student affairs committees, and we value the input of younger members of the Society. And we've also recognised recently a need for wider discussions over diversity, equity and inclusion. And we've set up a standing diversity, equity and inclusion committee and expect to see more from the Society in this space. Equally, I know probably quite a few of you feel strongly about these issues, so feel free, again, if you're interested in that aspect of the Society and improving the Society for members going forward, to get in touch, get involved. And if you're not a member already, it doesn't cost much to become a student member and you get a lot out of it. Basically, more members from more diverse backgrounds, more inclusive the Society is, the more people we have that can say and have a say on how we can make the Society of Economic Geologists a better place for all members at all levels going forward. But to shift focus slightly, I want to talk about the role of economic geology in the mining industry in modern society. Many would wonder why on earth economic geologists and people associated with the mining and minerals industry would be having an event on Earth Day. I'm sure, as many of you know, Earth Day is an annual event held globally on April the 22nd, since I believe 1971, or 1970 rather, with this year marking the 51st Earth Day. Events this year likely to involve more than 1 billion people in the majority of countries around the world. So what does mining have to do with Earth Day? You know, if you're a member of the general public, you would think that mining and the minerals industry is kind of the opposite of what Earth Day represents. You know, the perception of a lot of the general public would be that mining is old, it's socially and environmentally problematic, it's polluting, and it's certainly no longer needed. But of course, us as economic geologists know that certainly the latter is not the case. You know, modern society is founded on non-renewable natural resources, and the majority of which are mined and quarried. You know, that demonstrates and exemplifies the importance of economic geology to modern society. The technology you're using to listen to me talk now is essentially mined or quarried in kind of a raw level. You know, the copper to supply the electricity to your device, the battery that your device is running on, all of this has to be mined at some level, at some point. Simply put, without mining, we cannot have the standard of living that we've come to expect in the modern world. Equally importantly, and relating to Earth Day, if we're to do anything about climate change, we're going to lower CO2 emissions and prevent further damage by anthropogenic climate change across the world, and we need more mining. Low and zero CO2 technologies like electric vehicles, solar panels, wind turbines, and the infrastructure needed with all of these low and zero CO2 energy and transport technologies are mineral and metal intensive. To hit carbon dioxide emissions targets, to reduce the impact of anthropogenic emissions, and to reduce anthropogenic emissions of carbon dioxide and other harmful gases, full stop, we need more metals. We need more mining to occur. Demand for metals is likely to increase as we move towards lower and zero CO2 technology and transport, energy generation, energy storage and transmission. Simply put, if we don't mine more, we can't reduce anthropogenic carbon dioxide emissions unless we have a real change about how we operate as a society. And I'm not just talking increased efficiency, I'm talking essentially removing large aspects of what we consider to be crucial parts of modern life. So the challenge you guys are going to face, you as young economic geologists, as young professionals within the field of economic geology, who can not only shape the Society of Economic Geologists, but also who can and will determine the way the mining industry operates. It's how we meet this increased demand for minerals and metals, but also ensure that we don't cause environmental, social, and other problems while meeting this increased demand. It's going to be a very fine balance to tread. How do we mine more? How do we extract more minerals and metals without having, significant impacts on the environment and on the social side of things? It might seem like a tall order, but these challenges are also opportunities. You'll all have the chance to make people more aware of the importance of economic geology and the minerals industry, full stop. To ensure we use minerals and metal resources in a sustainable way as possible, to ensure we practice good resource stewardship, to create value from waste. Essentially, the waste products of the last 100 or plus years of mining are sitting there waiting as resources. Resources from the metals, that mining waste was originally produced as a byproduct of, or for other metals that we didn't use, say 100 years ago when these mining wastes were first generated on a large scale. Things like the critical metals, the rare earths of this world, and so on, that we are increasing in demand because of low and zero CO2 technology and the like. We also, we need to, as economic geologists, be involved in conversations about leaving areas we work in as close to the way they were before mining began, basically leaving them in the same state that they were originally, or as close as possible. And we need to realize the most of what we mine. It's not just often about the metals we extract from a mineral deposit, but also the waste. How can we use that waste? For example, if we're mining nickel from ultramafic mine tailings, how can we enhance the CO2 sequestration potential of those ultramafic rocks that we've mined as a byproduct of nickel extraction? Equally importantly, we need to listen and engage to people. The kind of the social challenges the mining industry is facing into social opportunities. How do we, make mining socially beneficial? How do we do this and have conversations in an open and honest way? These are things that all the mining industry is traditionally being accused of not doing. How do we flip that around and ensure we do that in all ways possible? If we don't do this, mining is going to face a bleak future. Environmental and social challenges are already delaying and potentially preventing the extractions of minerals and metals. But how do we turn these challenges into opportunities? And this is something that us as a Society of Economic Geologists and us as a broader science of economic geology need to think about. And this is something that you all as young members of this group of scientists and of the minerals industry, you all have a say, and you should all have more of a say going forward in terms of what the mining industry and minerals industry should look like in the future. You have a voice, make sure you use it, make sure your voice is heard as much as possible. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do within the society, is to make sure that students and early career professionals actually have voices within the society that are heard. The challenges we face, therefore, are certainly not just technical, but they're environmental and social. And as the future of our society and our science, I have faith that we can take these challenges on, not just people at the top, but all of us within our sub-discipline of the earth sciences, including the people presenting this conference, the people listening to into this talk, the younger members of the community of economic geology, who essentially represent the future of our science. You're going to see some of this in the challenges in the present, some of the challenges we face and some of the opportunities within the presentations that are actually going to take place in the symposium. So as I say, just to wrap up, the younger members of our science, the younger members of our society, you're the future of both. You're the future of economic geology, you're the future of the SEG. You have the opportunity to help shape where we go from here, what we should do, and the future of our industry, our science, and how the minerals industry is viewed by the rest of the world. Well, not just viewed, but how we act and engage with the rest of the world. These are all challenges, but as I mentioned a few times, they're all opportunities. And that's one of the most exciting things about economic geology right now. We're on the crux of this large predicted increase in metal and mineral demand, how we meet that and how we ensure that the mining industry, the minerals industry, does its effectively and operates with enhanced resource stewardship is something we need to all think about as we go forward, and it's something you increasingly will have a voice in as we move into this kind of potentially new era for mining. To sum up, you as younger members of our science, younger members of our discipline, younger members of the SEG, if not now, then hopefully soon when you sign that membership form, you're all the future. And although this may be daunting, you're not alone in all of this. You have voices, you can make them be heard, you can engage with people at all levels, and I'm sure we're going to be in safe hands with you moving into the future. There's a lot of challenges, but those challenges in essence represent great opportunities for the minerals industry to go from what might have been considered as a dirty and dark past into a bright future powered by low and zero CO2 energy and transport and the like. Thank you.